Alright you lot, how's it going? So, you lot know that I like to showcase and put out there brands that I find are good and products that I find are good. And I get questions all the time through the PMs on Instagram, comments on YouTube, but also emails. People asking me saying they're setting up a tool set, or they're setting up a garage, a workshop, or doing whatever. What brand would I recommend? And some people just ask me, they see that I've got SGS stuff and they say, what's this SGS like? So I normally just reply to them, but I've been meaning for a little while now just to do a video and show you the products that I've got and why I think they're good. So this is going to be that. So I've only brought a few of the things that I've got here, just to show you. The rest of them are in another place where I normally keep them. So obviously the big one is the compressor. The compressor is a fantastic machine. For what that cost, well, I've had that about 5 years now. I've got several videos solely on that, and I've also got more like a 5-6 year review video that I've recently done on that compressor. But that is brilliant. If you're looking for a compressor, definitely think about the SGS branded compressors. And I've got the impact gun and everything, and the drill, and the little air ratchet as well to go with that. And it's brilliant. The jack, now I only wanted, well, to be fair, I needed like a 3.5 ton jack. I needed a heavy duty jack as well as a small duty jack, because there's nothing worse than carrying around a great big heavy jack when you've only got to lift a car that weighs a ton. You know what I mean? So I needed 2, but at the time I couldn't afford 2, so I just went for the cheaper option, and I got this small little 2 ton jack. And I'll be honest, this will lift, and I have used it. I haven't even bought a bigger jack. I've had this for years now. I probably had this for about 4 years, and this will jack up my camper van, which is getting on for 3 tons. And I know you're not lifting the whole lot in one go. I'm fully aware of that. You just lift in one corner, but it lifts that up no problem. And a Land Rover Discovery, which is getting on for 3 tons, about 2.75 I think that one was, with everything that I had on it as well. And that would lift one corner of that up, no trouble at all. So make of that what you will, and I'm fully aware that that's not 2 tons or more in one go on that. But what I'm saying is, if you've got a van, a camper van, a Land Rover Discovery or something like that, and you want a jack that can jack the corners up in order to do wheel changes, or just put the whole thing on axle stands or whatever, you haven't got to go and buy a really heavy duty jack. This little 2 ton one from SGS will do that job. You may have to block it up a little bit because the reach might not be high enough. If the Land Rover is a particularly tall one, like one of mine ones were, it was jacked up. So I simply had to block it up with some wood, but it lifted it no trouble at all. The other thing, which is fantastic, they call this a creeper, don't they? I got the one where the head pillow thingamajig is fixed, but they do one which it folds up, because sometimes if you're sliding around underneath a car, your neck can hurt a little bit if you've got to look up a bit. It's alright if you're looking straight up and your head's flat, but it can hurt a little bit. And I usually just have a couple of pillows that I put underneath my head, and it props my head up. So I didn't bother spending the extra $1 and getting the one with the flexible head, but they do a flexible head one. But this one is fantastic. The amount of times this has really helped me out when I've been spending a lot of time underneath the car doing a clutch or playing around with brake lines, fuel lines, whatever, and I've been able to just slide in and out. Fantastic. I've had creepers of different brands in the past, and what tends to happen, what did happen, oh look, this one's come loose. What did happen
was the wheels. If you're on block paving or something a little bit uneven and you're sliding up and down, the wheels keep bumping in and out the cracks. They bend here, or on one of them where these wheels attach, it come apart and the wheel fell off, and it happened a couple of times, which is why I had to buy a new one, which is why I went for this SGS one this time. And I've probably had this for maybe 4 years now, I'd imagine, and it's gone in and out of, or underneath, quite a few cars, and as yet no wheels have fallen off. I've just noticed that bolt was loose, but that's alright, I can do that up. Probably my fault for not doing it up tight enough when I put it together all those years ago. Hasn't ripped yet, and I'm not exactly easy on these things when I'm in the process of working on a car, so that's another good one. One of the things is, when you're thinking about buying tools, you know, creepers or any other tool, chairs, seats. Oh, that's the other thing I've got, can't get to, is the seat thing. You sit on it, don't you, wheel around a little toolbox underneath. Very good. You need to think about, how are you going to treat it? How much use is it going to get? Is it likely to fall apart? Even the most expensive of tools will get damaged. You know, they will wear out. And to me, SGS isn't, I don't know whether they want to be, but to me it's not a high-end brand which is bulletproof, but it's not a low-end brand which is poor quality either. It's in the middle. It's at a very good, reasonable price at the moment, at the time of filming this anyway, and it was when I bought those for 4 years ago. So I've got all the compressor and all the tools, the jack, everything at round about the same sort of time, because all the tools that I had, because I bought, well, I didn't buy cheap, no, but all the tools, the things that I had, the creepers that I had, the compressor that I had worn out, everything had worn out, so I was in the process of buying new things. I wanted them to last, and the first thing I bought was an SGS toolbox, actually, which I've still got over there, but it's all cluttered up and moving stuff around. And I thought that was very good, so I decided to go for more SGS stuff, and that's why I've got all the stuff that I've got now that are SGS. And I think the brand is in the middle. It's at a reasonable price point, and the quality is more than good enough for that price point, but it's not premium. But that's a good thing. Nobody wants to pay premium prices for stuff. I know a lot of people love Snap-on and all that kind of stuff, and I'm a fan of Snap-on as well, but it's different if you rely on it for a living. If you rely on something for an actual living, you need it to work every day, and if it breaks, you need no quibbles, return guarantee straight away. You know, exchange for a new one, which is what Snap-on and a lot of brands like that do. You know, there's Halford's Advanced are the same. I've got a tool set from Halford's, the advanced ones. The ratchet broke. I walked in there, didn't even need a receipt. They gave me a new one, lifetime guarantee. But sometimes you don't need that. If you're just sitting at home, you know, you're a home mechanic or whatever you want to call yourself, you can get a middle of the range kind of stuff, and it'll do you absolutely fine. And this SGS stuff is exactly that. Look at these dollies. These are a gem in themselves. Now, I've had loads of dollies in the past, and what tends to happen with the poor quality ones is where these wheels bolt on, they'll bend off, or the pivot point on the wheel there, they snap off. You've got a car on there or something, and you're pushing it along, and there's a little crack in the road, in the path or whatever it is you're wheeling it down, or a divot, or maybe it's on block paving, and it bob, 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 and they bend off. And once one bends, the whole corner goes, and you've got a bit of an issue. These are bulletproof. They're rated to 450 kilogram each. I don't know how many kilograms was on each corner. I haven't done any maths, but I have got 4 of these, but I've only brought 2 here just to demonstrate to you. I had a Land Rover Discovery on there, which had a load of stuff on it. It was probably getting on for 3 tons in total, with all the extra bits that it had on it. It was jacked up, big wheels and tyres, the lot. So 3 tons spread over 4, you do the maths. And we pushed that around, no trouble at all, over quite an uneven surface. So these are bulletproof. I've had trailers on here, I've had light stuff on here, pushing trailers around, doing all kinds of stuff with these. And they're absolutely perfect, bulletproof, very thick metal. The wheels are just, well, they're great. They could be rubber, I suppose. Not rubber, but they could have a rubber surface on them. But then again, when you're using that amount of weight, the rubber wouldn't last very long. It would very quickly squash and fall apart and fall off. So it would only last a little while, which is probably why they don't bother to put it on in the first place. But, you know, I don't think it needs it really. So those are definitely worth getting if you need a set of dollies to wheel stuff around. These ones, definitely think about them. Even all my airline is is SGS original airline as well. So I kind of went to town a little bit. Depends what sort of person you are. The sort of person I am is, if I find a brand, if I buy a product from a brand and it turns out to be really, really good, if I need another thing, I'll go to that brand and see if they do it, and if they do, more than likely I'll get that, and I end up with a cluster of stuff of the same brand. And when I came across SGS, I tell you what, it was more than 11 years ago actually. I've had that tool chest over there, toolbox, the bottom set and the top box, the bottom box and the top box, more than 10 years ago, because we were setting up our garage. We were setting up to be a mechanic's garage, and we bring your cars in, do your MOTs, services, oils, all that kind of stuff. We were setting up that, and I just come across SGS, and I thought, well, you know what, let's get some stuff from there. So I've got the toolbox, the top box, and the bottom and top box, and all that kind of stuff, and I haven't got that garage anymore. We've since sold that, but yeah, I thought this is a good box. And then when I needed a jack, I got a jack. When I needed a compressor, I got the compressor. When I needed a new creeper, I got a creeper. When I needed air drills and air ratchets, and I got the air grinder as well, but I can't find that. It must be in the other place. And the impact gun, the dollies. I just went to SGS on the website and see if they did what I needed, and because they did, I got it. I'm that sort of person. I stay loyal to a brand. If I find a brand which is good and the price is reasonable, the service is reasonable, I'll stay loyal to it. So, and I do like to push things like that out there. So SGS have nothing to do with me. They've not sponsored me, they've not told me to do anything. I just keep getting questions from people like you asking me about that brand. They've seen me use the things in videos, and even when I'm out and about, if I'm sitting on the side of a road doing a brake job or changing a wheel for somebody, and I've got an SGS jack and SGS axle stand to my little seat, they go, oh, what's that, what brand is that then? People come past. I've had someone come past and ask me what brand it was. That's a cool chair you're sitting on. What's that? That's brand SGS. Oh, what are they then? So I told them. So I do get that quite often, and I get people, as I say, you lot ask me all about it, and you ask how the compressor is after all these years and all this and that. So now I've told you. So yeah, as I said, that's pretty much it. I definitely recommend having a look and thinking about their products if you want something like I've just said. As far as relying on them for everyday earning a living as a mechanic or a fitter or something like that, can't really comment because I haven't done that. You know, it was more than 11 years ago, probably looking at 12 years ago now actually, probably 12 or 13 years ago, I would imagine, when I was using everything every day. But even then it was great. So I'll catch you lot on the next one. If you've got any questions about any of the things that I've shown you, the compressor, the jack, or anything like that, Oh, the other thing that I've got the SGS strimmer as well, the petrol 52cc strimmer with all the little kit and everything on it. That's great as well. I'll have a separate video on that. I've got quite a few videos on that, because when I first got it, I've done an unboxing, and then I've done a using and all this, and yeah, I've got quite a lot of videos on that. But I'm going to do another video on it, because that's had quite a lot of use, and I've probably had that 7 or 8 years, and that's still going bloody strong. So yeah, I'll do another video on that, because I always get questions about that. How's the strimmer? How's the head? You know, how's the head strimmer and all that kind of stuff. I'll get there. So yeah, if you've got any questions about any of the products, any SGS stuff or anything like that, just comment, and that way if you comment, not only I can see the comment and I can help you, but other people can see it as well, and they can help you as well, or any experiences they might have had. I'll catch you lot on the next one. Take care, all the best. Remember to love life, because that's what we're here to do. We wouldn't be here on this planet if we wasn't here to love it.